you have not tasted heaven until you have had one of my mom's homemade empanadas de carne molida. Crack of dawn, all the women would get up. Mi abuelita Consuelo, my mom, my tia Negra, my tia Marta, my sister Sandra, my sister Janine, my cousin Xiomara, my cousin Giselle, my cousin Soani, and anybody else who happened to be staying at our place would get up for the birthday holiday ritual. And they would break off into teams. And one team would attach this contraption of a machine to grind and grind and grind the beef. And another team would put water with la harina and then pancake it flat with a homemade plancha. And another team would make el pique, the immortal pique that my friends still talk about to this day. The immortal pique that as long as you have a metal spoon in it, it would never go bad, according to my mom. And another team would make el desayuno for everyone in the apartment. Scrambled eggs, green onions, tomatoes, soaked in manteca. Do not call it a Denver omelet. Do not call it huevos a la mexicana. Son huevos perico. And that smell would envelop all of apartment 3A, where all the wild men are. And we would come out of our dungeons in our Speedos. And me, I'm wearing mini tidy whities. Well, it's mini because I'm 7 years old. It's not because I'm by afternoon, the empanadas were made, and by evening, the entire neighborhood was pounding on our door, and by night, the empanadas were gone. My mom's Colombian empanadas were legendary in a Caribbean-dominated neighborhood. You have not tasted heaven until you have had one of my mom's homemade empanadas de carne molida.
Hi, my name is Juan Francisco Villa. I'm a writer, director, and actor. I have trained at Maggie Flanagan's. I've been at the national stages around the country, in LA, New York City, and Chicago. And about 10 years ago, I met April, or come across her, at the Maggie Flanagan studio in New York City. And I had reached a point in my career where, I don't know, I wanted more. I was tired of doing theater or acting, what felt like it was turning into a hobby. I also felt as if I was being taken advantage of. And so I had not taken a class with April, but we were in the same building a bunch of times. And I decided that something about her just drew me to her. And I reached out to her because I thought if there was someone who has a lot of experience, it would have been April. And I reached out to her and I told her how I felt and what was sort of bubbling inside of me, which was wanting to tell my story. It was that simple. And so I needed some guidance. She had her solo play called Liberty City that I had seen and I thought was pretty damn solid. I saw it at New York Theater Workshop. And so I just said, all right, she's the person. She's the person I gotta go to. And I wanted a career like hers. I wanted to do what she wanted to do. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to do film. I hadn't allowed myself to have that desire for a long time, because when you work in theater or you're in acting, you do it for the art, the starving artist. And I had reached a point where I thought that was bullshit. It didn't need to be that way. And so up to that point, I didn't consistently work. My discipline wasn't there. It was non-existent. But once at Maggie's for 2 years, it was strong, the best it ever been. My bar was high and I wanted to keep it there. And I knew April was the perfect person for it. So I introduced myself and I shared how I was looking into writing a solo play for the first time. People had recommended I do it, but I shied away from it for a lot of reasons. Probably because I was fucking scared. That's really what it was. And I knew April, because her energy, I knew that she would keep me online. So I went up to her and I just asked, I said, hey, so I'm looking, I want to take a class of yours, because I knew she did some writing classes. And I want, whether it was business class, she had a business class also, or the writing class. And I told her I wanted to write a solo show. And so she was a little taken aback because my energy was definitely just like laser focused. And she told me about her class, and I signed up. And it was definitely one of the best experiences I ever had. Cleansing in a lot of ways. She has a writing class that I did end up taking, and it was just phenomenal. I had a version of what were journal writings, morning pages of some sort, but I didn't have any real stories, just sort of thoughts or whatnot. And I took a 6 week writing class with her, and I just felt so supported in the class with her. She had some amazing exercises that were immensely helpful. We would start off with just a stream of consciousness to start off the session. There was about 4 or 5 of us, and then I'll put that aside just to sort of get out whatever is sort of clogging the brain. And then she would have a little, like a bowl where there would be some prompts of what to talk about. And then you just put your hand in there, take it out, and it would say what it needs to say. And then you just start talking, and you have your recorder. It's on every smartphone now. You're just recording what comes to mind without editing it at all. And you just talk, and then, and you have the floor. I think for a lot of artists, it's about wanting to be heard, wanting to express yourself, and April deeply understood that, and she guided you through that. And then the recording's done, and then you go home and you end up transcribing what you recorded, everything with all the isms. As you can tell right now, I have a lot of my own vocalized pauses or whatnot. And then you bring it to class the next time, and then you have someone else read it, just so you can have a little bit of distance from it, and you can be in the role of the writer. Because if something works with someone else saying it, because we can be so precious about our stories, about our experiences, that doesn't help us as writers, doesn't help shape the story. But if it works with someone else saying what you wrote, then you know there's something working there. And then you end up, April would say, just take out all the vocalized pauses, maybe save a couple, but make them purposeful. And then you bring it in again, and you start editing the story. But in each class, you're also doing another new story, another prompt. And it's just because a lot of people, including myself, I didn't think I was a writer. I wanted to be a writer, but I wasn't. And so, but we're storytellers. We're naturally storytellers. And that's a perfect, easy, simple way to get the story out. Because the way you tell it when you're out with friends or family, that's the way it works strongest. And then you get on the page, and then boom, before you know it, you have a few stories. And that helped me develop the heart of Empanada for a Dream, which was just, it was a huge success. I did it in 2012, and I did it in New York City. I got reviews in New York City. I did it in Chicago. I got a full production out of it. It was part of a festival at first. Then I got asked for a full run at 16th Street Theater in Teatro Vista. And then I got an extension, then an extension, then an extension. And then I got great reviews. I made best of lists in Chicago. Then I got a full run in Los Angeles, and I made best of lists there. And I credit April's class, because I got to tell my family's stories. I got to own it. And it was something that I'd never done. I think I was too afraid. And she gave the courage to tell it in all its beauty, whether it's joyous, loving, or dark. Tragedy is just as much a part of it. And what that helped me do, because Maggie's class was helpful for those 2 years. I had never worked that hard. But what it helped me do was finally connect parts of my artistic soul. It was almost there after the program, but with April, it helped me connect it all and see what I can bring to the table for TV episodic film work. And before April's class, no TV credits. Had some commercials, but it is what it is. Had no film credits. After April's class, I have 5 episodic credits, some guest stars in there, and I have some film roles too. And so, like you heard, things didn't really happen until I made a commitment to myself and my dreams and my desires. I started to finally listen to April, and things started to change. Things started to happen. And now, cut to a few years later, and I was just accepted into an MFA TV screenwriting program at the heart of the industry in Los Angeles. And so I'm at that place that I never thought was possible, but with April's help, I finally got there. So make that commitment, sign up, and give yourself that opportunity. Seize it, and you will see changes in your career and in your life. So hopefully I get to hear about how your experiences were. Thanks a lot for giving me a few minutes to just share my experiences with April.